I don't think this video is going to be too long, but realistically, when it comes to this topic, it's one that I have slowly started to come to over the past few days, especially with Vancouver Canucks development camp going on right now, seeing the interviews, seeing the clips, and seeing who stands out and who doesn't. I think I've come to the very real conclusion that the Vancouver Canucks 11th overall pick, Tom Willander, is a good one. And a really, really good one. Now, do I think necessarily that the Vancouver Canucks made the best player available pick at 11th overall based on who was available and factoring in ceiling? I'd probably say no. I really, really like Zach Benson. The fact that he was available at that point is shocking, and I've said this before in previous videos. If Zach Benson went somewhere in the top 5, I would be okay with that. So the fact that he went at 13 to Buffalo, pretty big steal. And so with him on the board, you could even debate with Oliver Moore still on the board. You could say that the Vancouver Canucks may not have necessarily gotten themselves the BPA based off of ceiling. But when it comes to the player they did get, Tom Willander is a guy who we all sort of knew was going to come to Vancouver. Like, let's be real. If you've been paying attention to any of the reports or the articles or the radio hits or anything in this city regarding that 11th overall pick, you would not have been surprised to see Willander's name be called. And sure, was this surprising to other fan bases and other people who weren't really all too familiar with the Canucks situation? Yeah, it was. Why are they going with Tom Willander at 11? That guy's supposed to go in the late teens, early 20s-ish. But the thing is, it's been a few days, and we've started to evaluate more Willander tape. We're seeing what he is doing at development camp, and he's getting interviewed too. And after all these things, and having Canucks fans consume what it is that Willander has to offer, both on and off the ice, I'm really starting to like him more than I did a week ago. Let's start out with the interview, because the Vancouver Canucks Twitter page posted an interview done with the player that was a few minutes long. I forget exactly how long it was, but this interview is so good, because this guy, I get it, he's from Sweden, he's an overseas player, they speak English in Sweden, right? We know this is a thing, but for Tom Willander, he is so incredibly well-spoken, articulate, and encapsulating of his thoughts that it really stood out to me during the interview just how good of a communicator this guy is. He talked about his time in Vancouver, how he likes the city, the history of Swedes in Vancouver, what his experience has been so far, and just the way he's able to talk about things. You can tell he's just a good speaker, period. And I'm not saying that in the context of, oh, this is a guy from Sweden, therefore his English may not be as good as Canadians who speak English. No, just regular old Willander talking is very, very articulate, and I really liked what personality he showed in those videos. He seems like a really coachable guy who knows his strengths, who knows his own limitations, and who's trying to get together with the guidance of the people above him to fix those things and overcome those hurdles. And when it comes to the way that we are watching him do his things in these training camp videos, you're really starting to see just the overall poise. You're seeing the skating, you're seeing the mobility here. Vancouver analysts here in the area on TV and the radio and articles always had talked about Willander and his mobility. They had talked about the defensively responsible side to his game, how he wasn't afraid to hit people, how he wasn't afraid to get involved on the boards, how there was a little bit of extra snarl to the way he would interact with opposition, but really we started to see a lot of the skating on display at training camp as well, and recently we're seeing a lot more videos pop up online because of it. Hey, here's a clip of Willander from earlier in the season where he absolutely just blitzes by everybody, where he has the puck in his own zone and he just charges through the neutral zone, pivots to the left, gets into the offensive zone with no problems, getting by 3 guys in the process. Like, this guy can fly. His mobility is spectacular. His edge work in the offensive zone is good. He can pivot left and right. He's got a lot more lateral mobility than some of the other Canucks prospects we have seen. And we're seeing people that are watching these training camps live saying, yeah, like, Willander is the most impressive guy here. We also had ourselves more of a conversation about his offense, because as we had talked about when he was drafted initially, he didn't have too many points in the SHL. He had 0 points in the 2-game sample that he had. However, with the regular Junior 20 team, he had 25 points, 39 games played, and was over a point per game for Team Sweden at the World Under-18s. The fact that he was even given an opportunity to play as an 18-year-old in the SHL is pretty good. But when you watch the way this guy is able to move, how he controls the game, how calm he is, how mobile he is too, there's a reason he was given that chance, despite getting 0 points in the process. His World Under-18 stint definitely helped him in that respect because you saw the point production, you saw it on an international stage, you saw a lot of scouts go out there and start to rank Willander a bit higher because of those 8 points in 7 games. And now, after the guy was taken, you're really seeing this transition to smaller ice that we're going to expand upon more so in next season's worth of play. He's committed to Boston University in the NCAA, and if he goes out there and plays with left-handed defenseman, Montreal Canadiens prospect Lane Hutson, then it's kind of a match made in heaven, in my opinion. Like, these two guys are both mobile, they're both quick, they can both pivot around, they can both control the puck at great speeds around the offensive and neutral zones. Lane Hutson might just be the best case scenario for Tom Willander and his development because this could be just such an incredible pairing to watch together. And you want to talk about the hidden offensive side to his game? Yeah, playing with Lane Hutson, the guy's gonna get points. Most likely. So, hopefully these two are able to bounce off of each other and really feed into the other's strengths and weaknesses, because if Willander is able to learn more manipulation and more, let's just say, pocket activation, using pockets of space and exploiting them to create points from Lane Hutson, and Lane is able to use a little bit of Willander's size to his advantage to help him create a little bit more offense, then it's a very, very mutually beneficial relationship here, and it's all going to come out next season. Willander, at the end of the day, I think is the top defense prospect in the Vancouver Canucks system now, and it's not even close. Just watching how he moves, watching how he physically holds guys up, this is a player that plays the right way, and at the end of the day, when it comes to what he could be at the NHL level, I mean, you're talking about top 4, top 2, whatever. If he plays with Quinn Hughes, he's a defensively responsible guy who can maybe chip in some offense once in a while, who is mobile, who's quick, who can skate with the puck. This could be a very good complementary top 2 defenseman with Quinn Hughes if everything goes right, because so far, I mean, there's no real reason to even doubt the guy. At least with other two-way caliber defenders like Olli Juolevi, for example, you saw right away that there was a little bit of slowness there, how the injuries eventually came to bite him in the back, and how he wasn't really progressing offensively like you thought he would be able to. I know a lot of people are traumatized from that pick, which is why we saw some angry Canucks fans saying, oh, Willander is Juolevi 2.0, Juolevi 2, Juolevi 2, but like, I think they're in a completely different class. Like, Willander is so much better at skating than Juolevi was at any point in his career, it feels like, and the injuries didn't help Olli either. So, for Willander, I'm liking it. I personally don't know if it was the best pick available at 11th overall based off a ceiling alone, because there were some pretty talented forwards that were available on the board still, but for what the Canucks ended up getting, add on to the fact that he is a right-handed D that can probably play with Quinn Hughes if everything goes well the next decade or so, this is an alright pick. I really like it. So, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Tom Willander and how you're feeling about this guy too. Go do yourself a favor and listen to the interview that is on the Canucks Twitter page. I just checked it while I was talking on this microphone here. 6 minutes long. He goes out there and answers questions. He is thorough. He has a very good head on his shoulders, and especially when it comes to being able to speak in English, he's really good at that. So, thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.